So today I want to do something a little different for you. I'm going to be opening up my Compaq Portable Plus computer. Now this was one of the very first portable computers at the low weight of 30 pounds. Yeah, imagine carrying this thing to work every day. It came out in 1983 with the modest price tag of $3,500 and was marketed as an all-in-one luggable business computer. You have retractable trays on both sides of the computer. As you can see, this one holds my power cable and also covers the power supply. And on the other side, you have a cover for all of your peripheral cards that you might have installed. Now the monitor and keyboard are both accessible from the bottom of the unit. Just unlatch those hinges and voila, you have your interface. Now the Compaq Portable was the very first portable IBM clone in the market, and so it sold extremely well, and they can actually still be found pretty easily on Craigslist and eBay, and for not very expensive. Now these are very cool retro systems, but they don't come without their shortcomings, and one of those is the fact that the keyboards, the actual keys, use foam pads which will disintegrate over time. I guess Compaq didn't expect weirdos like me to still be using it 30 years later. Also, if you need to get access to the motherboard for whatever reason, it's a pain in the butt just to get the thing open. And so that's what I want to show you first, is just how to open this. Now you could use a flathead screwdriver to get into the grooves. There's 5 of them on each of the sides. But it's very dangerous because you can easily damage the plastic. You can just rip it right up. So let me show you the method that I use. So I got some pink nail filers. No, they don't have to be pink, but that's the only color they had at the Dollar Tree. Now, I take one and I fit it into one of the grooves and sort of pry it open, but not too much. And I'm going to get the second one and do the same thing to the groove right next to it. Now you want to get them in enough so they're going to keep the cover lifted slightly. And once I have them situated, I'm actually going to get both of my hands, and using my thumbs, I'm going to press upward on the case, and using my fingers, I'm going to pull down in the opposite direction. And that's how I get this thing off. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. I've heard stories of back in the day, the technicians being able to do this without using any tools. Or, matter of fact, I've heard them being able to do it just with one hand. Yeah, like a boss. Alright, so the cover is off, so that's one step down, but our fun has just begun. So if we want to be able to access these peripheral cards, we still have to get through this gold cage cover thing. And so there's a bunch of screws we have to get through, and you probably also want to remove this secondary cage to access the floppy disk and hard drive. And it uses, I think they're called Torx screws or star screws. And so you have to get a very special bit to get in there. I forget the exact size. Maybe one of you can post it in the comments section, but this is the next step. Unscrew all these bad boys, one at a time. Alright, so about 15 screws later, we have access to the motherboard. You can see all the junk that I got piled in there. And basically, as you can see, there's the floppy disk, and I have a hard drive in there, but you might notice that the hard drive is actually not connected to anything. I only have it in there for cosmetic purposes because I don't have a secondary floppy drive. And I'm not using it because I have a better hard drive that I've installed, but this is the original controller card. I still have it just in case I ever need it. Hard disk controller. Compaq Computer Corp. 1983. That was a great year, wasn't it? So this is what I actually upgraded it to. I think this is a 32 megabyte MFM hard drive. And it's been working pretty well. I installed it a few years ago. And you got some other cards in here. Let me get these out of the way here. And we have basically, I think this is a printer card and a modem card. Forget what this thing is. CGA or composite output. This is a floppy disk controller card. Yeah, I think this is what's connecting. Get this thing out of the way. Too many cables. I need to tie this thing together. Okay, yep. That is a floppy disk controller. So there you go. That's how you open up this sucker, if you ever need to do that. Alright, so next I want to show you how to repair your keyboard. This is probably the biggest complaint that I hear about the Compaq Portable. You know, oh, my keys aren't working, I can't use the 3 and D key, or whatever the hell it might be. And when I first got this, I had several keys that weren't working for me, or they were repeating the key, just, you know, issues. Actually, I think my spacebar wasn't working, which was definitely problematic. And so, it's actually pretty difficult to get this thing opened. You see 6 screws on the base plate there, but there's a lot more underneath it. Let me go ahead and open it up. Okay, so with that out of the way, we can now remove the frame piece here, but we still have a lot more we need to do to actually get access to the individual keypads. So first you want to disconnect the keyboard cable, and you want to be kind of gentle about it. These can actually break, so you want to pull it kind of from the top part of it, and then just remove the other pieces that are kind of attached to it. Alright, so once that's out of the way, you have 4 more screws to get the keyboard separated from the circuit board, and that's where the fun really begins. Alright, so once you get those off, you might think, oh right, I'm home free. But check this thing out. Look at how many more screws we have to deal with. I mean, seriously, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 more screws. So finally we can access the keyboard foam pads. And they're actually just underneath those contact sheets. And let me show you how they work. I mean, you probably already know how a keyboard works, but if I press on one of these keys, you can see it, you know, lifts it up, and that makes contact with the circuit board on the contacts of it. And you can see the foam material that's used. I don't know exactly what's used to make it work, but you can replace it pretty easily just using any kind of substitute material. Matter of fact, when I first got this, I was still kind of naive with vintage computers. I actually just replaced them with pieces of paper, yeah, and I glued them together. And hey, it worked, you know. I mean, it functions fine. It's a little stiff on the fingers when you're hitting those keys, but if you ever find, you know, a broken portable computer, you know, don't throw it out. I mean, at least salvage the keyboard, and you can take the foam out of it and, you know, swap it in with your working keyboard. These are the actual contacts on the board itself, and this is another way you can improve your keys just by cleaning these contacts. I use isopropyl alcohol, and it seems to work pretty well. So before you get all excited and, you know, put everything back together, definitely test out the keyboard while you still have everything unscrewed so you can at least make sure it works. Otherwise, it'd be a pain in the neck having to do it all over again. And once everything has tested okay, go ahead and piece it back together, keep your fingers crossed, and boot it up. And jump into the retro experience of a Compaq Portable computer. Or in my case, a Compaq Portable Plus computer. Ooh. Yeah, I just love these things though. Just awesome form factor, love the appearance. And I mean, there were a lot of luggable computers back in the mid-80s. IBM actually made their own portable computer after the Compaq Portable, just because I think of the success of the computer. And you know, there were CPM machines like the Osborne and the K-Pros, and just a whole line of portable computers. Commodore 64 had a portable computer, so the list goes on. But very cool computers, and I just think it would be so funny if you just like walk into a business meeting with one of these in your hand, just to see their expressions. Like, what the hell is that? I mean, I could only imagine back then, people are going through an airport, carrying this thing, to go on a business trip. I mean, what a nightmare, right? And I think 30 pounds, this was probably one of the lighter ones. I think the earlier models of the luggable computers were even heavier. So before I end the video, gotta play at least one game on this thing, right? So let's play some Space War. Yeah, I like playing this game on the Compaq Portable because of the phosphor display. It doesn't work well for all games just because of the delayed image. But for space games, I mean, it actually kind of adds to it, I think. But there you go. There's your quick game. Well, that's it for the Compaq Portable. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful for you. And as always, thanks for watching.